Okay, welcome to AKSG Tweet Meet. We call it Akpan State Gazette Tweet Meet. It's a pleasure to have you, even though we're in your office. My name is Nelson Sabasi. I happen to be the editor of the Gazette Media. We run Akpan's foremost online news portal. And we came.
I lost my father when I was 6. I do houseboy to go to school, and I finished from a government primary school. Finished from a government primary school. They call it on government community secondary school in military turned politicians, and so that's how I got the name. And I went straight to my direct boss, then Leko Shimi. May his soul rest in peace. He died afterward, and then he now presented it to the overall boss, John Momo. And I couldn't present it that time, but I had to write the synopsis for the program, and started. And that's been my name. People know me politics today, but Channel TV is still running it today.
Wow, interesting. Okay. Ambassador Sampson Akpan, aka Politics Today. That's how people know you.
Yeah.
Let's come back home to Akwa Ibom. The topic we've been advertising for this conversation, this tweet conversation. People are following it on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, live stream on YouTube. We call it setting a pathway for e-governance and citizens communication. That is the reason why you were selected and chosen as the right person who, through your platform Politics Today, before now, has been creating and facilitating citizens communication with policymakers and government officials. How do you feel about that?
I think it's a way of movement, a way of rising. When we are talking about movement, I remember when this popular reggae musician Bob Marley talked about movement of Jah people. It wasn't just an ordinary movement. It wasn't a display of step. It was a display of decision. So if you take a decision to move forward, that is credibility. And credibility got to be backed up with creative thinking. And I want to believe that with the level of creativity in the Gazette, I think Akwa Ibom will definitely be known by the outside world in terms of her economic import and human potentials and a lot of things that make up the state.
Okay, talking about Akwa Ibom, talking about development. How did you feel with the arrival and establishment of our own first private radio station, Planet FM?
Yeah, Planet FM. I've been there a couple of times. Information dissemination should be a veritable tool in building in a society, and so I key into information that is very important. I went to Planet, and of course it was the election period, which I had to put up a program called Akwa Ibom Decides. And so far we were able to test the credibility of those who came out to lead us. And at the cause of that, I had a lot of interaction. If you had Akwa Ibom Decides, initially preempting the election, getting to talk to those who want to occupy the hilltop mansion. That was the essence of the program. Let us first of all assess their credibility. Let's look at their credentials. What do they have on the table for the people of Akwa Ibom State? Where are they coming from? Who are they? You understand? So that was a way of trying to ascertain and inform the people who was coming to contest. Anyway, that's a story because His Excellency won.
We now know the outcome.
Yes.
Okay, now there's this engineer Daudu Festus. He is the new chairman of World Radio Communication. First time in 150 years we're in Nigeria. How do you feel about that? I think
Nigeria, you were talking about Channels Television. A lot of people, they see Channels TV as the CNN of Africa. Not Nigeria, CNN of Africa. That's what you need to understand, because the owner has been a professional. I remember when I was very young, I was doing a house help somewhere. We got to tell ourselves the truth. We don't pretend behind banana peels and try to be so funny and so sweet like banana itself. You got to tell people how you... When I lost my father at the age of 6, it was obvious that perhaps a lot of people thought I wasn't going to make headway, you know. Look at John Momo, how it started. When I was young, I used to hide and watch on the window, watch John Momo and Ruth Benemesi up here. Wow. And I had to, I told myself when I was that time that definitely I must be a broadcaster. And today, I got to that level. And I don't just do it in a quiet moment.
Were you able to meet Ruth?
Yes, I met with Ruth.
Okay.
I met with Ruth Benemesi up here. That was in 90 when... I had an opportunity in 1999. I had an opportunity. Don't also forget that in 2000, I won an award for the first time as the best reporter of the year. It was Dandali Bako's personal award that was given to me, the then NBC boss. I was more or less a cameraman and reporter. You got to be versatile when you're working in Lagos because that's not your father's land. Otherwise, they kick you off. And I was able to cover the Mile 12 crisis when the houses were attacking the Yorubas. I got them live, cutting, beheading people and all those stuff. And so I was on the cross bridge, to pedestrian bridge rather, to cover that event. And I got back and people would say, how did you get it? With all the guns, with all the police, with all the tear gas? I said, I managed to get it because just like then, I started eyewitness report. At Lagos, I used to go around all the phone booths that time, not mobile phone. We used to have phone booths. Yeah, you just go slot in the card and report. Oh, do not follow Third Mainland Bridge. Traffic jam. I came up with English called bomba to bomba and so on. And so, so that was it.
Okay, so how do you feel about the e-media in Akwa Ibom being opened up by Planet FM? I'm also aware that there are rumors, I call it rumors because until someone like you can ascertain it remains a rumor, that there are a couple of private radio stations coming in to the States.
Yes, Akwa Ibom State is an open space. The space of investment has been already opened. The former administration came up with infrastructural renaissance, and the present administration came up with superior performance, consolidating on that infrastructural renaissance. And today, you can see the number of investors coming into the state looking for a possibility of making Akwa Ibom State their investment heaven. And so today, we can talk about several people coming in. Aside the Planet FM, there are other radio stations coming in. We are not saying, but there's no how you're going to beat Planet because the Planet is the first. So the first is always there.
Okay, we'll come back to you, sir.
Yes.
We'll come back to you, sir. We'll continue this discussion about the industrialization of the state. I want to reach out to our viewers quickly so they can join us in this conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube channel. AKSG Tweetmeet, that's the handle, that's the hashtag. The next 10-20 minutes we'll be taking questions from your followers, from Akwa Ibom people at home and abroad. Wow, industrialization of the state by the current administration. I want to quickly ask, before the elections, before Udom Emmanuel became the SSG to the Akwa Ibom State government,
yes,
did you know him?
No, I did not. I used to hear about him when I was in Lagos, and I think the time that I got to know him was when he built up Akwa Ibom Church in Surulere, somewhere at Ojuelegba. Barracks. I used to live at LSDPC by New Road, New leads to Stadium Hotel in Lagos. So you hear a lot of stories. And Kepi Ekbenyo stays at number 1 New Road. So when we meet, we do discuss those of Akwa Ibom people who are doing well. So we discovered that we have somebody who was doing quite well, even though I was unable to meet with him then.
So what was your perception about him then?
If you have an Akwa Ibom people, we grew up to say, don't touch it, don't try it. Etox syndrome. Thank God for Akwa 7 who came up and said, come on, the issue of etox syndrome should be a thing of the past. We need to grow old. We need to grow big. We need to think big. We need to be large. We need to also enlarge our scope.
Let's link that to the Takada mantra currently being promoted by the state government. I'm sure you have Dakada.
Yes.
About 6 years ago.
Yes. The Dakada, I wouldn't look at it as a mantra, because when it's a mantra, it's more or less political. Okay. Just like when somebody talk about reinventing, or when you talk about born again, it is spiritual, but sometimes abused. Okay. Anything that is spiritual should not be abused by the flesh. Dakada is spiritual. Aside having some philosophical connotations, it also has a spiritual intuition. And I want our people to understand Dakada is not about Udom Gabriel Emmanuel, His Excellency. It's about the consciousness of our people. Anybody wanting to grow higher to an extent, anybody wanting to live above board, anybody wanting to reciprocate the gesture that God has endowed us with. God has given you the free breath, God has given you food, God has given you water. It therefore left for you to invent a machine that will take water into your house. The Dakada initiative, which to me is a rebirth of our spiritual relationship with God, that we were made great, and of course Akwa Ibom State is great. And if you notice, this is the only state that is named after God. So anything should boil from that angle. If you bring anything, my brother, if you mix water and oil, do they mix it? You can't mix it. You can't mix it. So what the best thing for you to do is to bring in God. And God purposed it mixed. That is why we said God is both masculine and feminine. And therefore, when the two come together, they meet, and of course, at that rally point.
Of the ambassador you don't know. He is the pastor. So let's talk about your responsibility by the virtue of your position and office as the Honorable Special Assistant. I like to use that word, Honorable, to the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State on electronic media. How have you been? What has been your responsibility, and how do you use your office to promote the vision of the governor's administration and the Dakada message itself?
Yes, I think that's since we started, I think that's when you're hitting on the nail now. Let me use this opportunity to inform my followers, and of course those who are watching me on YouTube, those who are tweeting right now. My responsibility is basically on electronic media that has to do with radio, television, and what you're doing now. And it is my responsibility to make sure the kind of information that goes into the electronic media about our state. And so far, we've been working hard, seriously too, to make sure that credible information goes outside. And let me also co-join by answering these other aspects of it. Akwa Ibom State of recent, I'm talking about Akwa Ibom people. Some people who feels they can establish their grievances on the social media. It is extremely not good. Based on the philosophy of His Excellency, I think everybody should dakada from the perception. You don't wash, like I normally say, you don't wash your dirty linens in the public. You don't tell your children there is no food outside. You tell them inside. And then you only go outside to go and look for food. There are a lot of publications I have seen in recent time on the social media that is alarming, extremely an anathema. We're supposed to build up togetherness, irrespective of our political affiliation, and make sure that we promote and project our state. When you despise your leader, who are you going to lean up to? Let me also tell you this. Whoever tell you that your father was not a good man, he himself is not a good man.
He was your father's friend.
Yes. He's supposed to have he should have corrected your father when they were going out together. Not for him to come and paint a picture after the demise of your father that my young man, your father died a bad man. Ask him very important question. Why did you not correct my father when you guys were friends?
There are some of those backstabbing statements and comments that this particular one is directed to you, to your office. A section of the public believe that there is proliferation of office in Governor Udom Emmanuel's administration. By that I mean that aside the chief press secretary We have the essay to the governor on local media. We have the essay to the governor on new media. We have you on electronic media, and so on. How do you come to terms with that?
Well, every administration has a responsibility of setting out strategy. We call it administrative strategy. Mm-hmm. You cannot allow the chief press secretary to do everything. There must be an arm of assistance that comes to a table of synergizing information, making sure that it comes from the new media, it comes from the local media, it comes from the electronic media. You synergize it for the purpose of giving out information, that is not adulterated, that is factual. It's not a divided system. Governor Dom Emmanuel is a very focused person. For instance, there are things I cannot say. It is strictly the responsibility of the chief press secretary. There are things the chief press secretary cannot say. Responsibility of the Commissioner of Information. There are things the Commissioner of Information cannot say. Strictly the responsibility of His Excellency. That's how it works. Do not forget that you are working with a man who has been in the private sector, and his focus is absolute administrative policy with a lot of concern in human development. And so you need to work in tandem with that policy, otherwise you'll be shown your way out.
Are you saying that these appointments are to develop the human beings the appointments have been given to?
No. The appointment is strictly to project the programs of His Excellency. Okay. The appointment given to you, for instance, what I do here, normally when I was an independent person, I don't supposed to sit in the office up till now. I would have gone. But I'm here because there's a responsibility. You came in and I was working. I just returned from a site where I got to go and find out when a lot of people say Peacock Pen is not working. I need to go find out. Yes, and behold, Peacock Pen is working. So very soon on Sunday, you're going to see, I was there with the production unit. At the production unit, I had to talk to some of them.
Your place. It's in
it's in my place. And so I got to go find out, because people don't just write what is not correct. So my responsibility is to right the wrong in some aspect as far as information is concerned.
Thank you very much. I like that your responsibility, the responsibility of Ambassador Sampson Akpan, is to right the wrong. So, sir, what is life for you outside work? When you're not in the studio broadcasting, or you're not here doing your 9-to-5 job, what is life like for you?
Life is spiritual. The world is turning around. Life for me is spiritual. I go to God for prayers. You need to pray for Nigeria. The Bible says when you begin to see things that you did not see, know that the end time is near. Sometimes I pray with tears because our young people are yet to come to terms with the realities of life. How long are we going to live? Why are you fighting? If we have issues, why can't we come to the round table and negotiate and say, okay, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. If you say somebody is bad, why can't you be good in order to correct the bad one? If you say somebody is a thief, why can't you stop stealing so that you can correct the thief? Because if you steal, there will be other thieves around you. That's life for me. So the basic aspect of it, I retire home, sit with my kids, check what they are doing at school, and then we pray. And we go to bed.
I was thinking you were going to say you listen to music, because I can
no, I'm a musician.
Your affinity,
yes,
couple of musicians,
yes,
LFX,
okay,
brothers,
yes.
That side
it didn't start here. It started all the way from Lagos. Okay. Zulezu, they were staying with me.
Wow.
I took Ibro and Mike from National Theatre to my house in Krikri town in Lagos. I left Surulere to Krikri town at time. Wow. And they were staying with me. I saw the talent in them, and I tried to promote it. Not just like Chaika came in somewhere along Idoro Road inside, and they attacked the vehicle. I only thank God that no life was lost.
There's a personal question, and the person asking the question, I don't know, you might have sent the tweet, cannot say, but he requested that I ask you this personally. His name is Emmanuel Sam, and he wants to be quoted. He explained to me that the car caught fire, that your wife made a post on social media minutes before your post. Our post
contradicts
stated that the car caught fire, while your post stated that the car was set ablaze.
Okay, let me reconcile it for purpose of information, especially my followers. Somebody raised that issue that I set my car ablaze in order to collect a Hilux car, and you can imagine a Lincoln car of about 8 million and a Hilux of about 5 million, and then this Lincoln Jeep that is a utility car, and how on earth will somebody said I said I was at the stadium with His Excellency. How on earth will I ask my driver to go and set my car ablaze? Let me tell you something. I have been known to be a car freak man, and I buy cars. When I say I buy cars, I love cars. I did not have opportunity to see my father's car. I did not have opportunity to even see my father's bicycle. I did not have opportunity to drive somebody's car. Since I was born, I've not driven either a friend or brother or sister's car before. Nobody has ever dashed me a car, but I dash people. Let me tell you the difference between my life and the life of those who would want to know. I'm not from a silver spoon family. I'm from a struggling background. And I give respect to people. When people want to blab or talk, they should also investigate. How would somebody go, I am the only man. I'm not boasting. You know, I don't boast. The only one that drives Lincoln, not that others won't have such money to buy, but I have a choice. I like this where I have flair driving a car that is not common. That's me. I was the first young man to drive a Lincoln Signature in this place. You know, not that it's too expensive, but I like being specific. I like being distinctive. You know, it is about what you want. Somebody asked, where is that politics? Do you see, I show you text messages of threats all over my phone. Each time I leave Planet FM, they threaten me. That's the kind of politics you see here. That's why I was trying to tell you that it's better for us to watch our linens inside and then present it outside. If I destroy you on Facebook, what am I trying to gain? If you have an opportunity to become a minister tomorrow, and the Facebook I posted to discredit your credibility is being presented before the Senate and you are disqualified, whose fault? Whose development? Akwa Ibom will lose, your family will lose, your community will lose. Are you hearing me? If you have issues that is political, we have areas with which we can settle it. I do sit on radio most times to tell people that we don't need to fight because of politics. If we want to go back to the time immemorial, no politician is correct. No politician is perfect. In Akwa Ibom, quote me, including Obamata. So we should face reality. We should come to a round table and settle our differences instead of going on the social media. The problem we have is that we pretend to be angel when we are demons internally.
We are eating the social media. We're going to go on a short break so we can eat the social media to hear what those people are saying on Facebook, Twitter, on YouTube. We are here live on AG Tweet Meet at Akwa Ibom State Gazette Tweets Meet.
And she heard of it, that my car got burnt. He called the driver. The driver said, "Oh, madam, the car is burning."
Literally.
Yes, the car is burning. That was the information she got.
Okay.
She just got fainted because this was a new car. Wow. You understand? And so she went on air that the car is burning. Online, or the car online, that the car got burnt.
Okay.
She didn't give specifics of how the car got burnt. All right, good enough. The driver is here. The issue is this, my brother. If you have a car and the fire from any burnt vehicle or its electrical issue comes from the engine. You understand? No car will burn from the seat. So if a car burns from the seat, what are you trying to insinuate then? Somebody broke the shield when asking after me and I was not there. Somebody broke the back shield and poured fuel on the car and set the fire ablaze. So what are we talking about? And good enough because the car is tinted, so he never knew, he never believed it that I was not there. And good enough I was at the stadium. So what's the point? If there was a mechanical problem in a new car, mark my word, and I've not seen any new car that got burnt less than a month after purchase.
Not possible.
It's not possible. So If it was a mechanical fault, I would have equally returned it to where I got the car from, rather than making a mole out of it. Yes. After all, I mean, I don't even want people to know that I buy a new car, so it's not a celebration. So, if you, this is the car. I want it, if you can get the car here. Okay. I want you to get the car, how it works. This is where they hit the car. They hit the car with, at this point, the back shield, and they poured fire on it. This is the car. But you see the frontage where the driver, where the car was. Look at it. Okay. Just these two shields, I was not inside. And they poured fuel on it and set the car ablaze. And look at it. The front, let me go to the frontage of the car for you to know nothing happened to the frontage of this car. That's why they said if I have some millions of naira, I can. This is a Lincoln car. So look at the front of it. Nothing happened to it except the back of it. Have you seen it? So that you understand what I'm talking about. So when people want to talk, they should understand that it is not about, it's not about car. I saw one of my friends said it on the social media that I set my car ablaze so that they'll give me a new car. And I asked the question, what kind of car do you want me to drive? What kind of car? Because this is not a government that will be dashing people car. I would even suggest His Excellency to dash people car because we don't even have money. Any money that we have, proposal, and you must start somewhere. You see, the problem is this: we don't like taking risk. I remember when I finished my secondary school, I had to put up a nursery school that was patronized. Yes, I put up a nursery school. I had a nursery school in my village. Wow. From there, even when I came into the States, I started my own project. You don't just sit at home and expect government to come and read your name maybe on your streets and say, where are you? Come out.
We have something for you.
This government is driven by job provision and job creation, wealth creation, which is very important, and young people should take advantage of this. Okay. This, like my office is open, bring up what you feel you can do, bring up your idea. This is what I can do. I put it through. If the government cannot handle it, I'll talk to private people. They'll handle it. I can tell you some few guys who are coming here how far we've gone. It is not about government cannot do everything for everybody. Government can only create an enabling environment for you. For instance, an enabling environment of a loan can be given to you. But if you misdirect the loan to go marry a wife or buy a Tukumbo car, it's wasted effort.
Straight to the next question at Ibomwaya. Sir, what is your office doing to create awareness about new stadium's potential to host matches? It seems underutilized. That's the Gospel of Babu
International Stadium. Well, the Ministry of Sport, Youth and Sport has the responsibility of doing that, and I think he should be able to channel this question there. If the Ministry of Sport contact me for any information dissemination, I'll do so. Yes, I'll do that.
Okay, we have this one. This is more like a felicitation. At Jerry, again, Jerry says, Dear Ambassador Sampson Akpan, thanks for this platform. Okay, I think by that it means thank you for opening the door.
For you guys.
Okay, please, is government monitoring the road repairs on Oron, or in Oron rather, because it is fixed today and bad tomorrow at Aqua Imo?
Is it the intervention? Talking about the Operation Cover Pothole? Is that what he's talking about?
Road construction by the
this administration, maybe some of them do not know the person called Mr. Dom Emmanuel, the governor. He goes for the best. If your composition on any road construction it does not follow the stipulated parameter, you definitely get it hot because you'll be disengaged. That's the truth. And of course, we have a commissioner for works who is very, very committed based on the specifications and instructions given to it by His Excellency.
Okay, we have another question here. It happens to be the subject matter we discussed earlier. It says, at Mr. Edikan, why would a state like Akwa Ibom have only 2 radio stations and 1 TV station?
Yes, Adika, let me quickly tell you. Most times I got attacked when I was on radio and TV telling people that we should lessen the way we build hotels. Rather build something that will have an employable opportunity for our people. And I think Tony Afia, the CEO of Planet FM, key into it. And I can also tell you that Inspiration FM is coming up very soon, maybe next month, authoritatively. It's owned by Sonny Rabo. It's coming up, and His Excellency did a groundbreaking for dial communication there. In the back that is coming up. It's a spread thing. Let us not have this notion that we have only one or two radio stations or three in Akwa Ibom. There's a radio station in the University of Uyo. There's a radio station in the Heritage Polytechnic, far away in Eket. Heritage FM is there. So people should use that. And of course, it helps the students to also try their talent. Because I think when I came in here, let me tell you what I did when I came into Akwa Ibom State. I started what I call NTA Fan Club. What did I do? I trained young people to become responsible. I trained them in the areas of creativity, in terms of presentation, broadcasting, acting, and so on and so forth. If you have any creative ability, we enhanced it by training. But trust it. This is where sometimes people don't want you to be popular by creating something.
There's a repetition of another question here. SA electronic media, SA new media. What's their obligations? Still, Mr. Edikan.
Okay, SA New Media is basically the one that is handling the website of the entire government house, making sure that proper information is given. That is updating the activities of His Excellency on the Facebook, online, and everywhere. And so that's her responsibility.
Okay. Another question here from Alpha Mervin. At Alpha Mervin, we have your question. Why are jobs, contracts, loans, grants, opportunities, etc. meant for the Akwa Ibom populace always hijacked by politicians? Question from Alpha Mervin.
He said, what is hijacked by politicians?
Why are jobs, contracts, loans and grants, opportunities, etc. meant for the Akwa Ibom populace always hijacked by politicians?
I'm not aware of that.
Okay, we move to the next question. You ought to have told us the limitations of his office. Let's not ask too much questions. My answer won't be given. So if the person doesn't want to ask at all. Okay, the government is giving out loans. You must have a proposal. Okay, that's from you. Annoyingly, these people are super rich, yet they don't want to give poor people opportunities. As the questions come, we will take them. Let us go back to my own background questions.
All right.
There was a news item recently circulating online in some tabloids about the rating of Governor Udum Manuel as the third from the back amongst governors in Nigeria.
You ask whoever did the rating.
The Center for International Affairs and Policies, CIAPS.
CIAPS. I saw the post.
What do you have to say about that rating?
That rating is not original.
Okay.
Can never be. As far as His Excellency is concerned, he was the only governor on target as far as 100 days was concerned. Don't forget 100 days he was able to put into use the abandoned and dilapidated peacock pens.
Which you visited today?
Yes, I was there when he visited. Don't forget the administrative block was completely burnt.
I was there too.
And then nothing was working. Nothing.
What people are saying about peacock pen, we really need to stress that. They are saying that the factory has been revamped, but they are not manufacturing. That's what they're saying. Some are also saying that the peacock paints are paints from other companies, then do not place the peacock.
Let me also tell you this. Let me also tell them this. Whoever that is having that notion, let me tell you this. There's no how peacock paints that has set a standard, that has garnered several awards as far as standard control is concerned, would have gone to Mushroom Paint Factory to buy. The biggest paint factory in this country is Peacock Paint. You have to know this. I was amazed when I got to the factory today that they have already supplied to Mobil the marine paint. Marine paint is one of the most difficult paint to be produced based on its scientific and research oriented purposes. And so if a paint factory can produce that in your domot, like my grandfather used to say, your domot. Let me also say this. Who is talking? My uncle used to say, who is talking? Who is this person socially? Who is this person academically? Who is this person religiously? Who is talking? You ask yourself, who is talking? If you want Akwa Ibom good, if you wish Akwa Ibom well, you need not despise her, my brother. You don't use politics in every strata of your life. If you contest and lose election, join your brother and build your state. Okay. Because I contested election in my local government.
You're coming to that?
Yes, I contested election. So I know what it is to lose election and spend so much money and without getting it. You just got to come back and align yourself. There's a process in everything you do in life. You don't just put tomatoes in your water and start eating it. You got to boil it. It must get to a boiling point of 100 degrees before you can consume it. There's no shortcut in everything that we're doing. Elders should be able to advise the young ones that there is no shortcut. The problem we are having today in Akwa Ibom politics is because young people finish school, secondary, some university, some polytechnic, and they ventured into politics without even having an idea of what is administration, what is management. You see a councillor in your local government. Don't you see a councillor in your local government going for a loan to buy a car and marry a wife without thinking of what will sustain that car and the marriage? And the 2-3 days the marriage crashed. People should understand this.
We have an interesting question here from Alpha Mervin, similar to what you're saying, sir. Why is there so much psychophancy in Akwa Ibom State? Why do so many young men aspire to become PAs instead of learning the trade?
That's the problem. That's why I was telling somebody, can you imagine when I was given an appointment, somebody called me and said, you have been compensated, please remember us. I said, what? Governor Dom Emmanuel saw me on Planet Radio doing my professional calling, and he feels I should bring that kind of knowledge to his government by disseminating information that is effective and factual. And he brought me in. It was out of merit, not out of politics.
So let me ask you, how do you personally rate Governor Udom?
I don't have what it takes to read Udom. Udom is extremely versatile. I'm telling you. Do you know what it is? I remember when I asked him a very technical question on radio. He answered that question as though he had preempted, or he had the knowledge of what I'm going to ask him. He understand. You know, when you're on my hot seat like you're doing, did you show me your questions?
No, I don't
they just flow and we flow together. That goes to show that we have the capacity. You understand? So Dom Emmanuel has a capacity that is beyond human assessment.
Okay, so that's what you're saying is a divine mandate.
Definitely divine.
Okay, let me take some more questions. What is government doing to ensure freedom of expression on AKBC? There's too much censorship of non-government advertisements. There's a question from Udwak Okon. What is government doing?
I'm not the general manager. I'm not the managing director of AKBC, and all you need to do is to channel your question to the management of AKBC. I think the new person is trying to reposition the AKBC, so it might be he will answer your question.
Subsequently, on the Iowa State Gazette tweet meet, we look forward to having the DG AKBC, President of Pastor Amitie. We have another question here. A felicitation actually from one Stephen Sam from the UK. Akwa Ibom people in diaspora are already following this conversation.
Yeah.
Ambassador Sampson Akpan, nice to be part of this interactive session. What do you have to say to Steve?
Thank you.
Okay, are you...
That's my friend.
Oh, your friend, Steve Sam.
Yeah, tell him that Presido is here.
Okay, nice one. Nice one. Please publish the state budget, generic and breakdown, Mr. Edikan. We have to channel that to
No, let me answer that. Let me tell you this. People talk about budget. We had 2015 budget. Which other budget are they talking about? 2016 budget is not yet presented. So what do you want me to write? I was not here in 2015. 15 budget when the budget was presented to the State House. And so this is a new administration, and the budget can only come 2016. They should study the graphics and, of course, the calendar of Akwa Ibom politics and that of Nigeria, so that they know when budget comes and when budget goes and when the next one should come.
Okay, now let's talk politics. Back home, you contested to represent your people. By the way, I'm from Etina.
Good.
Wow, so, and this is
no wonder you are intelligent.
You're
quite intelligent, I must tell you.
Thank you very much,
yes.
Sir. What happened to that dream of representing the people in the State House of Assembly?
I'm doing that now.
In the government house?
Yes.
And you're representing the constituency, the media.
I'm representing the media. That goes to show that what you cannot get in the bedroom, you can get it in the sitting room.
Okay, so you shelved the aspiration?
When you're serving the people, and it's different, but when you're serving an administration, it's equally different. Right now, serving the administration of His Excellency, you okay? And then maybe subsequently, if I have such an opportunity to serve the people,
it will be in the House of Assembly, because this office seems to be higher.
Maybe it depends on where they want me to go. But for now, my concentration is here.
Okay, looking at your office, either being in the House of Assembly or where you are today, what would you like to change about Etinan and Etinan people?
Etinan, I keep on saying it is the cradle of political civilization. Etinan, we normally call it the brain basket. Etinan, we've produced a lot of ministers, commissioners, governors, presidents, and so I don't want to call Etinan anymore as brain basket, because I realize that basket leaks, and I'll call Etinan the brain basin. The brain basin for the very fact that we have credible men. And I want to tell them to come out. Some of them who are shying away from politics perhaps used to believe that politics is dirty. Politics is not dirty. And of course they should come back and take their rightful place. Etinan will definitely see, when you're building for others, you've got to deny yourself. That's why Jesus Christ came on a public purpose, not a personal purpose. Otherwise he would have gone to the cross. For now in Etinan, politically we are on the cross. And when we come back, we'll be celebrated.
Okay, now if you happen to be the governor of the state, how would you like to be remembered?
If I happen to be the governor of the state, not yet. I don't want to think about it now, because I'm serving under a governor.
Okay, so that shelves your...
Yes.
Okay, we hit the Twitter handle, we hit Facebook, we hit YouTube to take more questions for Ambassador Sampson Akpan, who's still in the hot seat. Maiden edition at Akwa Ibom State Gazette tweet meets. We have one question here for the ambassador. Why are motorists at Alpha Megan? Why are motorists daily harassed by convoys of politicians? Annoyingly, they have no regard for the lives of other road users. Ambassador, that's a question from Nse Akwawo.
I wouldn't know about the harassment of motorists by convoy of politicians. I don't think it's a convoy of the governor. Okay. Because this is the only governor for the first time in the history of Nigeria that prohibits the blowing of siren. Governor Dom Emmanuel does not need siren. According to the governor, and I quote, "I do not need to become a nuisance to those I govern." So he doesn't blow siren. And he will stop at every point of traffic where there is red light. Yes, he obeys traffic rules. And I can tell you that there are some of the drivers sacked for disobeying traffic rules. Yes, the governor will instruct you, stop when the red light shows at the traffic, and says you have just got to stop. So he is not coming. He's not an emperor. He's a leader. Yes.
We have a question here from Patrick SCN. Patrick says, you mentioned Unio FM present in the state, but do you realize that they don't have good coverage? So what do we do about that?
Okay, I think the issue of establishment of media houses, because people were really talking about private investment. The processes, you talk about having a license, you also talk about pursuing your license, having political godfathers and so on. If it was that easy, I suppose to be a CEO of a private FM now.
Okay.
But it's not that easy. It involves a lot of processes. And so I want to tell my friend that very soon, very, very soon in Akwa Ibom State, we're going to go in there into radio, because having private information station will give everyone ample opportunity to say what you want to say, provided you don't insult people. Talking about insult, before you ask, because I know it's one of the things you definitely would want to ask me, let me tell our people that the day you insult your father, you make it a curse. You make it a generational curse. Your child will definitely insult you. The day you insult a governor, are you hearing me? Whether you do it as a result of the influence of a paymaster or by alcoholic influence, the day you become a governor, even a local government councillor, you'll be insulted. So people should know that you respect an office. Most of them who are insulting Governor Udom Emmanuel, calling him all sort of names on the print media, they also want to be governor. So how can you be what you don't want other person to be? So I appreciate my jacket so that I can wash your own.
Nice one there, Ambassador Akpan. Appreciate my jacket so I can wash. Okay, Numudo Afaofiong, Etina Road. What is holding the contractor from mobilizing to sites? This is a question from Mr. Idikan.
Nodo.
Afaofiong, Etina Road. What is holding the contractor from mobilizing to sites?
Anyway, you channel that question to the Honorable Commissioner for Works.
Okay. The next question. The only hospital in Ikonia, Sidibom, is abandoned. What is the government doing about it? Same question. Another question from the same person, Mr. Idika.
Okay, Mr. Dikan, please, you channel your question to the Ministry of Health. I think she has what it takes to answer your question.
Okay, all the way from UK, Stephen Sam, what are you doing? Question for you. What are you doing to ensure that government's policies are better projected to the people?
That's what I've been doing. On Sunday, we're going to start a TV program called, we're going to be online too. Do not forget that for the past 4 months or so, I've been running a program called Akwa Ibom Mandate, trying to take government policies to the people and equally get feedback from the people to the government. And also, we're going to start a program called Akwa Ibom Rising, moving from where we were to where we ought to be, and talking about the industrialization policy of His Excellency Mr. Dom Gabriel Manuel. And we will definitely educate our people. We need to rise from where we were or where we are to where we ought to be. And that's the kind of program that is going to drive home government policies and programs to the people. And so, don't sit at home. All they need to do is to pray for His Excellency.
AKBC. This is a question from Patrick SN Jr. AKBC portrays too much content from the government. What can you do about that to ensure some sort of reduction?
I think, like you said, you're going to talk to a native Pastor Pe. Pastor Pe will answer that, because I'm not a staff of that place. Neither do I know the in-house style or house style of the AKBC. What I know is that if I want to run a program, I go there, pick up airtime, and run my own private program, which is owned by the government. So I pick up my time too. So he too can as well pick up his airtime and run his own program.
And be a part of it.
And be a part of it.
We are privileged by grace to be the first to get to hear about Akwa Ibom Rising TV program. I have a question I have penned down. What are your plans for e-governance in Akwa Ibom State? Well, you just mentioned that you're working on Akpan Rising, going to be streamed and tweeted live.
Yes.
Give us insights.
Yeah, there is.
Into Akpan Rising.
Yeah, Akpan Rising is a projection of a government philosophy in terms of giving the required leadership responsibility to Akwa Ibom people. Akwa Ibom Rising is philosophically interpreting the mindset of His Excellency, that he's not coming here to sit down and watch you guys. He's coming here to tell you, come, let's rise together. Let's rise in the area of industrialization. Let's rise in the area of human capacity development. Let us rise in the area of food sufficiency. Let us rise in the area of industrial revolution, which is very, very important. Let's rise and make you an employable person. Don't forget, finishing school is not a guarantee that you get a job. The government now is preparing Akwa Ibom people, Akwa Ibom sons and daughters, to become employable. The training, the Oracle training, which a lot of people do not understand, is working. When you finish the Oracle training, you can walk anywhere, because you're doing online tweeting now. You wouldn't have done this if you don't have the knowledge of how it is done. And so His Excellency is doing that. Tell me now, with this your disposition, you write a proposal to the government. Why would the government assist you? So it's as simple as that. So Akwa Ibom Rising is telling you, don't sit at home and believe what people tell you. Come and do it yourself. You can do it yourself. As we are talking now, Akwa Ibom State is being rated by professionals, Nigerian professionals, which is going to be broadcast any moment, as the best performing governor within 100 days. If you were opportune to watch the documentary, you will see that His Excellency was the only one to set up his cabinet. There are a lot of governors who are yet to finish their cabinet, to set up their cabinet. Cross River finished it last week or so. And Akwa Ibom State hit the ground running. And people are complaining. You see, the only thing is this. My mom used to tell me before she died, may her soul rest in peace, that you will not appreciate her soup until you eat from your neighbor's pot. Yes, you will not appreciate what Governor Udom Emmanuel is doing until you travel out to another part of this country. Just as I would say that you will not appreciate what I am doing until some other person comes in. You know, like what happened during the election. A lot of people never appreciated what Jonathan was doing until when he left. You know. And so we now have a direction to follow. Just like His Excellency said, he's not a governor. I want to sound it very clear to everybody that care to listen. His Excellency Deacon Udom Gabriel Emmanuel is not a governor of a political party. He's a governor of Akwa Ibom State. And Akwa Ibom people should give him the required respect so that we can move forward. The governor need be encouraged. The governor need be supported so that he will bring to the fore his vast wisdom and knowledge, credibility and innate ability in our state, so that Akwa Ibom State can stand tall in the Committee of State.
We have an advocacy request here. 10% for youths. They are asking for 10% inclusion of our youths in government, governance and administration. So 10% for youth is asking government to allocate 10% of oil derivation fund to youth empowerment. What do you have to
Youth
say about
empowerment.
Youth empowerment.
What kind of empowerment?
It's not defined, it's not spelled out.
Okay, maybe you need to talk to the essay to the governor on youth matters. I think you'll be able to speak the governor's mind on youth empowerment.
Okay, another tweet handle here at UD Okon, with the handle at Okon UD. She says, at Ambassador Sampson Akpan, but you are the SA electronic media. It is your responsibility to pass this on to the relevant quarters.
Okay,
talking about the questions you refer to other offices and quarters. She said you are the SA on electronic media.
Yeah. Okay, is he talking about the AKBC?
Whatever question it is that she has asked, that you referred her to other quarters, she feels that you should be able to pass this on to the relevant portals. We'll get
Okay, let me inform her. I think it's a woman or it's a sister.
Okay.
Let me inform her that my responsibility is not to give information, but to disseminate information.
Okay.
I get information from every ministries of the state, and then where I am directed by the chief press secretary. If it is for electronic, it's go to the electronic. If it is for radio or TV, it goes to both as an electronic. And then I am not the one giving out. I don't preempt information until when information gets to me, and I'll give it out.
Okay, we were talking about e-governance before I went through some questions. Now, I have a very, very I have a problem that's been bugging me.
Yes.
We have a governor, His Excellency Governor Emmanuel, whom I admire so much, devoid of sentiment, as being the first governor in Akwa Ibom State to appoint special assistants of new media.
Yeah.
This the new media trend is going viral. It's trending. There are millions and millions of people at home and abroad relying on the social media for survival, for information, and what have you. But back home here, we have a civil service that is way behind. How do we correlate that? How do we reconcile that? If the governor is moving us towards this direction of the Dakada philosophy, how do we intend to carry the people in the civil service who happen to be a major number of the state population?
Yeah.
We have directors of information who do not have Twitter handles, who do not have Facebook.
Let me help you there. The biggest problem we have is that you've forgotten that we have choice, individual choice, or choices, as the case may be. You may decide to buy an Android phone, and some other person goes for a phone that he or she can only answer calls and receive calls. Make calls and receive calls. People shouted, we've not received salary. They've finished your biodata. You've not gone to check if your information was properly channeled. You've gone to the bank to do your BVN. You've not gone to get your number and then give it to this other bank that you get your salary from. And perhaps if your salary is delayed, you now channel it to become a political discourse. You now go to the other political party to make it look political and complain. And they will come in a banner headline, civil servants not paid. But the internal problem is not resolved. I'm not holding brief, but I'm trying to tell you that the biggest problem we have is individual choices. You have a tap. Others don't have. Even when they have that money, they prefer to go to the palm wine joint, buy palm wine with that money, eat dog with that money. Some will go and sleep in a hotel with that money. That is what they see as priority. You are looking at e-government as priority to give information to everybody, so that if you want to know what Governor Emmanuel is doing, you just open the site. But others prefer dog meat, sometimes with plantain.
So let me quickly chip in this question from Sampson Akpan. Stephen stays in the UK and he says, "Sir, what would you do to ensure that Akwa Ibom people living abroad are kept abreast of Governor Udom's policies?"
Very nice question, I have to tell you that. Very nice question. What this government is doing, like you said, the new media. For the first time in this government, we have a say on new media. And so far, she's been up to date. Every information about government, from groundbreaking to commissioning of projects, is on the new media. And so refer my friend to the new media. Let him check out very soon. I think I'll give out the address so that he can also check out what government is doing.
Mr. Edikan is probably reading my mind. He says commissioners, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly members, and local government chairmen should have a Twitter account. Please communicate to them.
Okay, I think that's very important too. But also, let me also tell you this: some commissioners are very busy. Most times, some of them are the project side, and some of them, like I said, is a matter of choice. And some of them may not have the time. And I think they should also, each of the ministries should be able to create that department that will help give out information. Local government chairmen should have that department.
The information officer should
yes,
be
the information officer should be trained, and that's an opportunity for you. So you put up a bill to the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, asking them you want to train information officers in the 31 local governments so that they can update. They can update local government chairman activities in their domain. Let us see how they are, because the biggest problem sometimes is that people don't take their job seriously.
Okay, another question from Patrick, SN Junior. As the essay to the governor on electronic media, what new ideas do you think you bring to Akwa Ibom State?
A better way of giving out information. You can give information on the street. You can give information either on the billboard. In those days, we used to give information on maybe you have to go to radio announcement. No, this time around you're carrying information around you. That's why we have diversified from from the usual to the conventional. So if you say you're not aware of what's going on in Akwa Ibom State, it means you don't go to the social media, you don't watch TV, you don't listen to radio.
Sorry to cut you. That is only possible with the support of some gentlemen that we have in this office. Okay,
let me also say this. I'm creating what we call Camp Udom Emmanuel Campus Information Room. You understand? Information room. For those of them who are studying in the university, they should know what the governor is doing. He also study his style of leadership, so that if you want to become a leader, you can equally learn from it. And so, Udom Emmanuel Campus Information Room will avail you of governor's speeches, governor's programs, his style of leadership, his track record.
This will be on Akwa Ibom campuses all over the country.
We're going to spread it. There's a young man that is handling it. He just came up with a proposal, and we are pushing it, and it's going to work.
Okay, this question is from Akwa Ibom. How do you intend to ensure that our online bloggers engage in investigative journalism? I was going to acknowledge the efforts of we have Aneka waitinghappen.com. We have Prince Simeon is here, hypestationng.com. We have Dr. Emmanuel Ekandem. He is the CEO, publisher, Uyo Kali Access. These are bloggers, these are online editors who have been projecting Akwa Ibom before Governor Emmanuel. So how do you intend to integrate this young men, and then also to ensure that young Akwa Ibom people who are nursing a career in online journalism can go through the right process?
I think we need to sit up and have a meeting. We don't, by virtue of interview, talk about how we're going to do it, because this is not the right platform to let loose the credibility of bloggers.
I
want to tell the person that if he has a blog, as soon as we call for a meeting of all the bloggers, he will definitely be invited, because we need to do that in a hurry. We need to tell them how EKJ is making our money. We need to tell them how others are making their money. They need to know it. If you have what it takes, and we can give you, government can assist you by giving you an interest-free loan to update your blog and make some money out of it.
Thank you very much. AXU should be looked into. This is from same Mr. Dekan. Infrastructures, lecture hall, hostel, all old-fashioned. We should have the best marine department in Nigeria. That's a comment, not a question. How come the new administration have not made financial statements of the former administration public? Why are newly civil servants employed old? That's a question from Mr. Ani. That's Ani 8899.
Mr. Ani, I think the Commissioner for Finance talked about that. The Commissioner for Information did make mention of that on Planet Radio sometime. And of course, I am not in a position, because it has not come to my table, to give any information on salaries. My responsibility is basically what is handy for me to give out to the people.
Okay, as a father, let's come back to personal life. As a father, you have two young kids, a boy and a girl, and you initially stated that you jakada at 6 when your dad was late. How would you like your children to grow? Would you like to give them all you couldn't get, or allow them to experience life in your way?
You pamper your children, you lose your generation. This is what fathers should know. Those of them who, by virtue of having opportunity for public offices, and this is personal, and you see money, instead of using that money to develop your community, you send your children abroad. They'll just come back and do Yemen, and whatever house you might have built will be sold by them because you did not give them a foundation. No matter how much money you have, allow your child to go through the stages of development. Even insects do have stages. So, if you don't allow your child to see 99 and you just push your child to 100, it will be very difficult for that child to know how to start.
Okay, this is a part I would have loved to avoid, but by the virtue of the office we cannot do but talk about it. There have been recent rantings on electronic media, on radio precisely, about the people from the opposition party in Akwa Ibom, quote, All Progressive Congress, both for and against, both intra-party clashes and crises. We had Senator J.J. Obede coming to say that he is the original flag bearer of the party in the last gubernatorial election. We had Mana coming to say the contrary. And we also had the Commissioner for Information coming to say his own side of the story on behalf of the PDP. By this, I'm trying to get...
Sorry, a point of correction. The Honorable Commissioner of Information did not speak for the PDP. He only spoke when his boss was insulted by Tawak.
Okay, so let's talk about the tribunal. The cancellation of election in 18 local governments, the rerun, and the recent rantings of radio.
I think people should not preempt. Akwa Ibom basically is PDP. All right. So if a particular political party wins election, and of course His Excellency has been talking about political integration. You notice what happened. The Accord Party, immediately His Excellency won. The chairman came and said, "We'll give you support because yes, I'm ready to work with you." It is expected that some other political party would have done like that for the sake of the state, not for the sake of Governor Odomi Manuel, not for the sake of PDP or for the sake of APC. The Akwa Ibom state is beyond and bigger than any individual or political party. But when you don't have this at the back of your mind, you keep on flocking an innocent child for what a matured man has done. That's a parable. So, what is it to go to radio to talk about? Itawa going to radio to talk about the credibility of a government. Why can't Itawa go and tell us the mineral resources we have in Oron that we can tap and give people employment? I keep on telling people, Itawa is my friend. I sympathize with him because he's making issue of a state and put it in his personal pocket. When Itawa said that Governor Pabio, the former governor, was told, did he subtract the 10 million that was given to him to build his house? Up to now, he has not even completed the house. So I don't want to go personal. I don't talk about individuals because the basic principles of state development is contributive effort. If we do not come together to build Akwa Ibom, Governor Odomi Manuel cannot build it alone. Go to tribunal I have seen tribunal in this state from day one to the end. Frank Okon's tribunal, case just finished a few days ago. And he was asked to pay $1 million plus.
So are you saying that...
And those who are following him have refused to ask Frank Okon and say, what happened to Ibom Science Park? We forget easily. What happened to Ibom Science Park? If you love this state so much, why did you work night and day for Ibom Science Park? Ita, if you love Akwa Ibom stole too much, why did you not reject the 10 million that the former governor gave to you and say, no, use it to build road? These guys, immediately their pockets is dry. They will fight. They are like tiger. They are prey. If they move around the bush or the forest, they do not see any D to catch. They will come back and catch human beings.
I think I need to rephrase my question. My question is this. The tribunal's verdict is to be run in 18 local governments.
There may not even be any rerun. I'm talking as a man that knows God very well.
Okay.
All those things will be resolved at the appeal court or the Supreme Court, as the case may be.
Yes.
Because the 18 local government that is in question has produced House of Assembly members who has won in the tribunal.
And the elections were held
And
the same
yes,
day?
and the elections were held the same day, the same place, the same time, the same hour. So
what I was driving at is this. If you have a state with 31 local governments, and then elections in 18 local governments are shaky, the people in the APC are saying that Governor Dom Emmanuel is no more the governor, unquote.
That
should not
is that what the tribunal said?
Because he cannot rule over 11 local governments.
So if the APC, in their thinking, they should ask the tribunal, why did you say Udom should remain the governor? Not me, not anybody. You should, because they for the love of their pocket, they went to tribunal. If it was for the love of the state, they would have gone to the tribunal in the first place. The money they have spent so far in the tribunal is enough to put up 2-3 cottage industries that would have employed those who are following them blindly. All right?
Okay.
That's why I used to tell people on radio, I said, if somebody said, come and carry ballot papers or ballot boxes, ask him, where is your child? Where is your brother? Yes.
Okay. Now, you mentioned earlier the name of the APC flag bearer in the last gubernatorial election, the person of Obo Emmanuel, whom you referred to as a good friend in those days when he was...
Not in those days, he's still my friend.
Still your friend. I like that. Now, and I asked earlier how you got to know His Excellency, the Governor, Dom Emmanuel.
Yeah.
You said no prior knowledge or relationship with him until he was contesting or until he became the SSG. But my question is this. Based on your knowledge of Emmanuel Okodumana and your discovery of Governor Dom Emmanuel, if the election was to fix the game, will you change your mind? Would you have any, looking beyond your appointment, but looking at your antecedents and relationship with Emmanuel Okodumana, do you still insist or think that he's still not good enough to lead the state?
Who? Emmanuel Gazette. Let me answer you one question you need to know. Even if elections are conducted in 18 local governments and Udom Emmanuel goes home sleeping, Umana cannot be the governor. This is something people should know. Go and do your calculations very well. How is he going to score the required 2/3? How?
Even if he wins in all the 18 local governments.
How is he going to win? How is he going to win? Where is the structure of APC? You talk, this is politics. I have been a political analyst for years.
Talk about the individual, the person.
The personality involved.
Yes, of Umana Okodumana, whom
You are just talking about issue between Akara and Puff Puff.
So end it there.
So if you cannot compare, I told you that I cannot even assess my boss.
Okay.
And here you are, somebody that has traveled everywhere. Listen, if you don't go to Lagos before, somebody will come back from Lagos and you worship him.
Yes.
What are we saying? There's what we call homegrown, without exposure. The kind of exposure of Udom Gabriel Emmanuel in his private capacity can only be compromised, not compared. So don't even go there. Don't bring the two together. Udom Emmanuel is too qualified for the people of Akwa Ibom State. And let me say this, we are very lucky. You know, I'm not sycophant. Neither will I be sycophantic. If I live here today, I have a job that I can eat. Unless you kill all the radio station or all the TV station, or you stop me from publishing. I'm not sycophant. I said it even before I was given an appointment, that I've interviewed all the candidates, all the aspirants. I found Udom Emmanuel to be extremely intelligent and vast as far as leadership is concerned. Mark my word, this guy is well connected. I sit here and I can see the number of investors, the number of Nigerians coming in here. And you are talking about some other person who born in the house, stay in the house, and has never gone out. What are you talking about? Don't allow me, because it's like somebody must have given you this question in order to cause problem between me and my friend.
That's my question. That's my question. Let's take a question from Victor Jerry. Victor is talking about the Biafra agitation. What's the stance of Akwa Ibom State government?
I'm in Nigeria, not Biafra, please.
Agitation.
You
know the strategic position.
I am a Nigerian, not a Biafran. Okay. So I dare not answer such questions.
Okay, let's look at the hashtag for more questions. How would you like your children to grow? That's one question from.
Yes, you ask how my children will grow. My children should grow through tutorials. They should go through training. Not for somebody to steal government money, send the children abroad, give them all sort of exotic cars and exotic accommodation when you are out of office and they become morons, taking drugs in America. Some of them cannot even come back.
Okay, we have this question from Stephen Sam again. Stephen says, how do you intend to contend with the propaganda which the APC seems to be bringing up on local tabloids?
Well, it is like he knows, for him to say that it's propaganda, that goes to show that he understands what is true and what is not true. He knows how to remove the chaff from the rice.
Question here from the Gideon says, what is the government doing about the state of education in the primary and secondary school sector?
Yeah, for a government to put up a free and compulsory education goes to show that government is committed in the direction of giving effective education at that level to the people. And after that, subsequently, don't forget that His Excellency has talked about a scholarship. You know, maybe you're not, if you're in tune with the recent convocation at the University of Uyo, the best graduating student has been offered a scholarship to study to any level in any university in the world. That's the kind of encouragement we are giving. So don't go to school to go and join EGBAT or join cults, smoke Indian hemp. At the end of the day, you are dropped or you kicked out of the school. And you said, I've been to the university. Just go to school, be studious, concentrate, and then this government is thinking about it.
There's a follow-up question by the same person. He says, what's Mr. Odemanuel say on the free education policy? I think it's not helping anyway. I'm an educationist.
Free education is not helping.
He said it's not helping.
It's not helping. People should go pay money to school. The former administration, realizing that a lot of children were hawking on the street of Uyo, decided that perhaps for him he didn't go to school. He put that as a policy. The House of Assembly passed it, and people are going to school. His Excellency came in and inherited free and compulsory education, and is putting a very serious effort on it that everybody needs to. I mean, a good journalist will know that. Sorry, if they say that you are a thief, I need to come and find out from you to balance the story.
So what is the government doing to checkmate?
It's not government. There's an agency that is in charge.
NUJ?
Yes, NUJ should do that. What I learned is that some of them will do their production in their bedroom and then give it out for circulation. The problem is still back to those who believe that politics should be a do-or-die affair. They use this boy out of their innocence to perpetrate this information evil.
Okay, I think we're going to end on this note. This is a very interesting one. Not a question, not a comment either, but a request. And if time will permit, I'd like us to take this. He said, Ambassador Sampson Akpan, Honorable Essay, please recite the Dakada Creed.
Well, the Dakada Creed is something that is known by almost everybody. And then I decide that almost all the time. But I wasn't coming here to discuss that the Dakada. We've talked about Dakada. So when next he listens to me on radio or television, I'll be talking about the creed.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. On that note, we say a very big thank you. Even though we will not be streaming live any longer from 5 p.m., we'll still be taking your questions on Twitter, channeling them to Ambassador Sampson Akpan and to appropriate quarters, and expecting the desired answers to all questions to be asked. And of course, we are also making moves, making plans to ensure that AKSG Tweet Meet is maintained, if not weekly, maybe monthly, maybe every 2 days.
You're listening. Okay, you're looking at me. Okay, let me say this for the avoidance of doubt. I know that my little allowance can take care of some things. For the love of my state and for the love of my job, I'm going to have a meeting with you guys afternoon. Make sure that we give this information out. I love the interaction. I love what it is, because a lot of people who perhaps did not know what is happening in the states have come to realize that Peacock Paint is working. They have come to realize that His Excellency in the next couple of days is going to establish a coconut processing factory that has the capacity of employing about 350,000 people. You know, and you also got to know that coconut has about 350 usage. So you don't throw it away. If you want to make carpet, it's coconut. If you want to make glass, sometimes you use the back of the coconut. If you want to make oil, you use coconut. If you want to make drip, you use the coconut. If you want to make medics, you use coconut. So coconut has a lot of it. Even cream, the pomade, the body spray, you know, deodorant, hair cream. Women, they know it. So you can make a whole lot. So we're definitely going to have a meeting, but the meeting is not going to be today because there's a program I'm running for. I'll be running out. So on Monday, let us have a meeting and see how we can structure this into giving out this information. It's not going to be me alone. We'll be going down almost all the ministries and get to see what they are doing, form a synergy, and then move the step forward.
All local government chairmen to have Twitter accounts. All the commissioners to be online.
They must definitely do.
Okay, once again, thank you very much.
All right.
Ambassador, I will not wrap this up until I recognize and appreciate the contributions of the panel of bloggers here. We have seated in this office the CEO of Yo Kali Axis, we have AppStation.ng, we have Waiting Happen.